Welcome back everyone. Something a little bit different this week. Going to be having a look at pizza. Recently acquired myself a pizza oven. I'd like to say that the good people at Ooni, who the oven is made by, saw that I'm now up to 12 subscribers, saw that I'm a new mover and shaker in the food game, so sent me one for free to review. That sadly isn't the case, but we're going to be having a look at that all the same. So today's video is basically going to be sort of a bit of a not so much an unboxing, but just talking through the unit. Also going to be talking through some of the pizzas that I did as well. So the dough, the sauce, just some of the interesting homemade elements to that. So there's a garlic confit for the garlic and rosemary pizza bread. Put together a bit of a poor man's imitation fennel sausage that goes really well with Induja. So we're going to be talking through a few of those components: the topping, the dough, the Ooni Fyra itself, showing you how that cooks, and then we'll wrap up when I've shown you all of that. Hope you enjoy the video. For the garlic bread, I've got 250 ml of olive oil and a full cup of peeled garlic cloves. So what I want to do is just cook these really gently in the olive oil for about an hour, just a bit of a garlic confit. So what that's going to do is just make it really nice, beautifully soft, the garlic. It's going to take out a little bit of that sharpness, going to make it really nice and mellow, works perfectly in garlic bread. And I'll be using some of that on a couple of the pizzas as well, I think. A pretty nice smell coming off them now. Starting to get a little bit browner. It's about 10 minutes to go, so they're coming along very nicely. In the absence of fennel sausage, I'm doing a bit of it's like a poor man's equivalent really. So I've just got 500 grams of minced pork, 5 teaspoons of the garlic confit, teaspoon and a quarter of chili flakes, teaspoon and a quarter of fennel seeds, which are just dry roasted and then ground up, teaspoon and a quarter of salt, and then about 20 odd grinds of the pepper mill. So I'm just going to mix that all up into a bit of a spicy sausage mix now. So just get my hands in and work it all together. The sauce is just really nice and simple. So full tin of really high quality Italian peeled tomatoes, teaspoon of oregano, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, and a healthy amount of black pepper as well. So we're just going to get all of that into the blender. That's all now in there. Get the lid on. It's time to get started on the dough. Got about 250 ml of lukewarm water, and into that we're going to put in full pack of dried yeast. So that's about two teaspoons worth, more or less. I think it's about 7 grams a pack, something like that. And then teaspoon and a quarter of sugar as well. So basically, obviously the idea being with the warm water, the yeast and the sugar to give it a bit of energy source, I guess, really. Give that a little bit of a stir, and I'm going to leave that for about 5 or so minutes. It really frothed up quite nicely. A lot of activity going on there. Just putting a tablespoon and a half of olive oil as well. Then in here we've got 475 grams of 000 pasta and pizza flour, and a teaspoon and a quarter of salt as well. So I'm just going to go ahead, pour all of this in here and start mixing. Just bringing all of those ingredients together now. Really sticky at this stage, just got to keep working it, keep bringing those ingredients together, finding the dry bits and just working it through the dough. So I'm going to get this out onto the work surface, just to get those last few scraps out as well. And now basically keep bringing it together and let the kneading start. So I think I'm going to do this for about 5 minutes in total, something like that, so we start to stretch all that gluten out. Now at the point where it's nice and smooth and elastic, I just cup my hands around it, pull the skin over the dough, and you can see how it just starts to tighten, all nice and smooth. So happy with that. That's just going in a greased bowl, just so it doesn't stick. And I'm going to put a tea towel over that and then stick that in the warmest place in the house, which at the moment is the attic. So I'm going to go stick it up there and we'll bring it back out in an hour. Pretty excited about this, to be fair. Got a brand new piece of hardware, the Ooni Fyra wood pellet pizza oven. So we're just going to set it up and talk through the spec. So first nice little touches, the main body, legs are already built in, so all we need to do is flip those out. No mucking around with trying to attach the legs, that's good news. Here's the little wood pellet fuel chamber, that just slots into the back. Hole over the top of the fuel chamber, that's for the pellet hopper. So I'm going to fit that with the lid at the back, actually, because we want to be able to scoop in from that way. Got a two-piece chimney. I'll just show you inside the chimney. We've got this little damper here, so whenever it's vertical or on the side, we know that it's full airflow. So let's just stick the chimney together. Line this up with the dots. Get that in there. This is quite a nice little touch. The chimney cap is the wood pellet scooper as well, so that's quite nice. I'll put that in there for the moment. That will obviously be coming off when we cook. I'll just switch it around so you can see what's going on at the front. Probably the most important part. So we've got the ceramic pizza stone. So let's just slide, which is two little screws there. So let's go above those, shall we? Or going below, there we go, below those. Slide that in, a little bit at the bottom to help guide it. Very nice, snug fit. Got the flame guard, so what that's going to be doing is as the fire's roaring across the top, it's going to be hitting this and deflecting back around the front. So there's two little grooves there for that to slide into. Very nice, that's in. That's all set up. Got the handle for the front, and then the last few bits of kit as well. So we've got natural firelighters. Oh my goodness, 10 kilos of wood pellets. Infrared thermometer, so that's just so we can read the temperature off the stone. And just so I can protect my mitts, some brand new, oh, they smell beautiful. Nice one. Had an hour now, let's have a quick look. Yeah, okay, pretty nice. That has risen nicely. Just take that down, knock it back and start getting it into the dough balls. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly pull the dough out and weigh it. So that is, let's have a look, 760 divided by 5. Oh God, 250 divided by 5, 50, 150. That was embarrassing. Should have been a bit quicker than that. Oh, I still need that. I'm flustered now. Right, so I get it into 150 gram portions. It's 190, a bit too much. 160, that'll do. So I've just portioned these out into 5 150s. So I'm just gonna knock each one of these back, and then we'll form them into balls after that. So a little bit of extra flour for dusting. 5 balls all portioned out equally, all knocked back now. So I'm just gonna basically now just form them into dough balls. If you want to come a bit closer, just work them around in the palm, and then these will go, and then have a second brew for about 15-20 minutes. Okay, so we can get the dough balls. These have risen up quite nicely as well now. So basically just going to flatten them out and work them into the pizza base size, which is probably going to be about 11 or 12 inches, I think. We're going for a little bit more of a hand stretched approach, and it is really holding up its consistency quite nicely. So I'll just get these done. One thing I did forget to mention actually was once we've got all of the bases, we are going to have to dock them with the fork, just to make sure that we don't get any big air bubbles that start sort of like exploding in the oven or whatever. But yeah, back in a few minutes we'll have all 5 of these done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases all sorted. Do have a little bit of semolina on here as well, underneath each of the bases, just so we can slide it on and off the peel. Time to fire up the uni. The moment of truth. 2 handfuls of wood pellets in the fuel chamber with the natural firelighter. Just try to nestle that down a little bit. I'm going to light that up. That'll go straight into the back. Once that's burning through, it's basically just about keeping that hopper full of chips and little and often. So as it burns away, the gravity feed just goes through. Then I'll be checking the stone temperature, looking to hit about 450 degrees C. As soon as we hit there, then we're going to be good to start cooking. So just going to light this up now. Good stuff. Let that catch a little bit more, and then we'll get that into the back of the oven. So let's do that now, and then we're going to be good to fill up the hopper and hopefully wait for the magic to start happening. This is one thing I forgot to mention, is this lovely feature is this little spy hole through here, because what it actually ensures is that you can see exactly what's going on at the back of the oven. Filled up the hopper pretty much up to the top with the chips, so the idea is that they'll now just gravity feed down as the fire burns through. And then I must just show you this, because this is a beautiful sight. We're just going to take the front off quickly, and you can just see how the fire's just rolling over the roof now. So we're going to let that burn for a little bit longer. Reckon it takes about 15 minutes, I think. Get that stone up to about 450. Just done a test pizza. Come out quite nicely, just to show you the thermometer in action. So digital read to the middle of the stone, so it's about 410, 440 at the back, 450 at the back. So I'm just going to get the door back on there for a few minutes, let it get back up to temp, and then put the next proper one on. Just getting the station ready. So we've got grated mozzarella, shredded mozzarella, then this is for the garlic bread. So we've got a garlic paste with olive oil, salt and pepper, the garlic confit, some rosemary, and then some salt and pepper to go over the top. Then we've got the Italian sausage mix, some andouja, chili, and some sweet red pointed peppers. Bit of rocket will be going on there as well. We've got the sauce that we made up, a bunch of olives, and then some aubergines, again some more sweet pointed red peppers, chilies, and garlic. So I'm just going to stick this on now. Take the door off, and then in we go, a bit of backdrop at the back, into the middle of the stone, back on, count to 30 seconds, then we'll turn it. Okay, literally all it's had is a minute. That looks absolutely fantastic. Very impressed with that. Last two to do, we've got the garlic and rosemary. So it's just that spread of the garlic paste, mozzarella on top, then the garlic confit, so rosemary, salt and pepper. And then over here we've got the tomato sauce, the homemade fennel sausage, some roasted sweet pointed red pepper, chili and andouja. I think that's a lot. Final verdict is extremely impressed. So they both cooked in about 60 seconds. So this is the andouja and fennel sausage one. Looks absolutely delicious. And then here we've got the garlic and rosemary one. Really looking forward to these two. Now I did just want to offer a few closing thoughts before finishing the video, because I was genuinely impressed with the Ooni Fyra's first outing. Really easy to set up, really easy to get the fire started and to maintain the fire as well. Quite nice how just keeping the hopper topped up with the pellets, they just gravity feed through, so it's just a constant burn, required very little attention, just keeping an eye on it now and again. It was up to heat in about 15 minutes, so really quick to set up before we could start cooking. The middle of the stone was reading about 520 degrees Celsius at the height, so that was cooking pizzas in about a minute, and then only with about 5 minutes between cooking pizzas. You lose a bit of heat when you take the door off, but that's fine. That's enough time to prepare the next pizza, and then you're ready to go again. So we'll be back again soon. I'm conscious that this is meant to be about low and slow, but today was all about high and fast. In fact, those pizzas were cooking about 9 hours, 9 minutes quicker than last week's short rib. But I'm going to be back next week with a more classic barbecue cut. But I hope you enjoyed the little side venture into pizza, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, guys.